Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shearer and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password. And welcome also to a new month. Today is Sunday, May 1st, 2022. We're continuing with our annual theme, which is Living Everyday Wonder. And the topic for this month of May is emotions. The topic for this week is what's on your spice rack? Some suggested books to read this month are Continuing with the Ordinary Wonder by Charlotte Joko Beck and Fear, Essential Wisdom in Getting Through the Storm by Thich Nhat Hanh. We open each week with a spiritual practice called Affirmative Prayer, also known as spiritual mind treatment. And this is a powerful tool and a practical tool that helps to shift our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept the good that is already present in our life. It aligns our thoughts with all good. So as we do each week, let's move into today's service with a reading from the Creative Thought magazine. And today I'll be reading from May 3rd, 2014. And just a reminder that spiritual mind treatment is always done in the first person. So I invite you to close your eyes and take these words as your own, if you so choose. With loving intention, I place my awareness into the one universal creative presence, recognizing its unbound love for me as itself. It is God, the self-givingness of spirit, and I am open to accepting more of my amazing true self than ever before. Allowing the truth of these ideas to be embodied and awakened in my soul, an inner energy is stirring within me. I savor the flow of my own creative juices. I am the creative outlet of divine mind, filled and brimming over with ideas that sparkle as life-giving, fun-filled experiences. My imagination accepts images of beauty. Joy becomes my natural state. I feel amazing. I am the creative process, moving through stages of letting go of self-imposed restrictions and all unloving self-talk and behavior. With gratitude, I claim more of my divine birthright and the power to allow an expanded consciousness of my oneness in God. I accept that I am whole and complete in health, love, financial well-being, creative ideas, and self-confidence. I open and receive from the spiritual treasure house all that I need, all that is good, all that I can imagine, and more. Today, I claim my amazing life, and I know that I am an avenue for the kingdom of all good. I am the awesome power of God. All I need is right where I am. God is amazing, and so am I. I release my word to God, and so it is. And that was originally submitted by Reverend Christine Jeffers from Golden, Colorado. So as we also do each week, let's together review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, which is to educate and support each other so we can create the life we desire that works for us right now. And we do this by means of our mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And once again, I'd like to welcome everyone. Please know that we are a teaching philosophy center, or a center that teaches the philosophy of science of mind. And we also honor every religious path. So no matter which path you are on or who you are, what your background is, please know that you are welcome and valued here. So as I mentioned, we teach a philosophy called the science of mind, and it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. And we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the science of mind. And when asked to provide a concise definition of the science of mind teaching, he replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. Each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message. And we are currently meeting Sundays at noon at Winston's Bar and Grill on Calle Peru. Coming up in June, we will be meeting in my new office, which is on Venezuela between Calle Peru and Calle Colombia. So more information will be posted online and the website closer to that date. In the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, you can post them online wherever it is that you are watching the replay. Chat with me in person or send me a direct email and I'll be sure to respond. So emotions. The vast variety of emotions serves to add spice to our human mix. So what's in your spice rack? As we lean into learning from emotions and creating balance, our recipe is perfected with just the right blend to create a mixture of harmony, well-being, and growth. Our emotions are amazing resources that help us to learn more about ourselves. Emotions can provide lots of great information. Our feelings and emotions serve as a guide and processing center for areas of reflection, exploration, and growth. And there's so many to choose from on the emotions continuum. Being human, emotions are a default within our central response center. And there's so many types of emotions with varying levels and degrees of intensity. Our emotions are like a spice rack that we can spin around to find the one that is the focus in that moment. All emotions are beneficial and have lessons to offer. As we strive for balance in our emotional spectrum, we achieve balance in our life. So this month, we'll delve into 4 key emotions: fear, happiness, anger, and sadness, and explore some other emotions that cluster within each category. Together, we learn about our emotions for greater understanding on how critical they are to our personal growth, development, and well-being. Rather than running away from a difficult emotion, we seek to face it with curiosity and wonderment, to look for the blessings. As we explore our emotions and feelings, we focus on the mental equivalent to gain a different perspective. We avoid praying it away through spiritual bypass, and it may likely return if not duly processed. So if you're sad, don't just stuff that away. We need to find out and explore why we're sad so that we can then enjoy the opposite, or happiness. So instead of doing the bypass, we apply our spiritual practice to breathe through it, to work through it, and to find a way to face that scary monster that may not be so scary after all. We may even realize a misconception or a false narrative trying to appear real. Fear, false evidence appearing real. We may realize that we're trying to assign meaning to something that is erroneous. The truth may actually present itself as we delve more into the emotion. And emotions require balance so that we don't spiral downward into a dark abyss or become oversaturated in bliss that doesn't include the reality of the human experience. So here's a little story. One morning, Lori awoke feeling deeply lost to her sense of purpose in life, more so than usual. She was perplexed by this deep sense. Her first emotional response was confusion and feeling scared. And she took it into her spiritual practice. She prayed and she meditated about it. And she allowed herself to calm and breathe into what it meant to feel lost and how it felt to her in that moment of now. She was guided to pull out a book from her bookshelf. The book was A Field Guide to Getting Lost by Rebecca Solnit. She calmed even more as she began meditating on the words of the book. And there's another art of being at home in the unknown, so that being in its midst isn't cause for panic or suffering of being at home with being lost. Is a quote from the book. The confusion and fear lessened as she surrendered more and more to the unknown. That sense of feeling lost eventually dissipated. And Ernest Holmes said this: in the well-balanced person, emotion is controlled by the intellect. But in many people, there is conflict between the emotion and the intellect. Emotion uncontrolled produces chaos. So most of us were taught during childhood to tone down or shut down our emotions, and therefore hide or run away from them. Often men were taught not to cry or to express their emotions outwardly, which actually shuts down an important human feeling center. Often society has trained us that certain emotions are bad and others are good. And this can cause us to berate ourselves when we experience certain normal emotions that occur, or even when we overly base in certain emotions to the exclusion of others. So this is how hidden beliefs develop that affect the outcome of our experience. These hidden beliefs can often sabotage our heart's desires. Can anyone else relate to this? Gary Zubkov in The Seat of the Soul said this: emotions reflect intentions. Therefore, awareness of emotions leads to awareness of intention. So why are we feeling the feelings that we feel? By facing our emotions and looking underneath them, We learn how these hidden beliefs originated. We can do the healing work necessary to process them instead of hiding from or ignoring them. Once we reveal, then we can heal. So we must look under every rock of emotion and see what's hidden behind it. By embracing these emotions, we can uncover our hurts and our pains and apply forgiveness, compassion, and love to help them heal. These tough times then become a learning opportunity. And we grow through emotions and bring balance back into our lives. We no longer need to ignore, run, or hide from the pain. We can then move into welcoming it into our experience with open arms and open hearts. Eric Butterworth said this: "Nothing else can satisfy or fulfill unless you enjoy the freedom that comes from control of your inner world of mind and emotions." So let's welcome our emotions. Welcoming painful emotions means looking at it directly in the face and seeing what it has to say. This usually requires some humility, courage, and strength, because it could be a tough exercise. And that's why spiritual practice is essential, because it can provide important support for processing us through the experience. For example, using a mantra, a journal, meditating, or working with a practitioner or a prayer partner are helpful ways to welcome our emotions and learn from tenderness, pain, or even bliss. Deep intuitive listening can also serve as a guide for experiencing areas in the emotional spectrum. Our inner guide knows where these treasures of learning and growth are, and they can serve as a useful compass for access. The areas to probe are where we find inner resistance. We can simply take our time, applying our spiritual practice to support us, and grow deeper in our exploration to unpack them and to learn. Our journey can uncover additional work that needs to be done, or more support that is needed for further excavation. In the end, this clearing out and discovery process will yield a healthier and happier self. In the Good Therapy blog, it says this: "Emotions by themselves are neither good nor bad. They are simply reactions. However, the way we act or don't act on our emotions can strongly affect our well-being." So we usually experience a variety of emotions at the same time. Since there are so many emotions that are in our emotional spice rack. And when there's a balance on the emotional spectrum, all is usually well. It's when the emotions are skewed to either extreme, one side or the other, either too sad or too happy or whatever emotions. It's when they are too extreme, that's what causes disharmony and imbalance. Too much joy and bliss could cause overexcitement, anxiety, or too much stimulation. Too much sadness could cause depression and an onslaught of other emotions. Too much fear could cause insecurities, isolation, unworthiness, or doubt. And we are constantly working through our emotional processing center based on what is going on in the lives around us, in our world, and in the world in general. So given the extreme local, national, and global events and circumstances over the past couple of years, many of us have been on hyperdrive emotionally. And it's a constant effort to work through these opportunities of emotional learning and healing so that we're not oversaturated in one direction or another. Again, our spiritual practices are an excellent way to stay grounded and to process the constant emotional swings of life. In the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, this is written: no aspect of our mental life is more important to the quality and meaning of our existence than the emotions. They are what make life worth living and sometimes worth ending. So in closing, like anything in life, practice makes perfect in maintaining emotional health and balance in our lives. Staying aware of our thoughts, our moods, and disposition in it is a healthy practice. Creating balance in our activities helps our emotional center stay balanced. Exercise, rest, a healthy diet, positive encouragement, and positive engagement with others, a deep self-care, spiritual practice, healthy stimulation and activity all serve to support balance and harmony. If our mixture is too spicy or too dull, it can be key indicators of areas that require extra attention of our focus. These can be learning opportunities for calibration and healing. By paying attention to signals and signs of what we may be seeking our attention based on our emotional response, we can take time to do the actions when and where needed. Take a look at what's happening around us in our lives or in the world, and that may provide some clues for exploration. Staying healthy in any area of our lives requires effort, including our emotional response center. And being human is a dynamic process and requires ongoing attention. Keeping our emotion center healthy takes awareness and often courage, compassion, strength, and faith. And finally, in the wise words from Maya Angelou, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that brings us to our affirmation for this week. I am blessed and grateful for my emotions and feelings. And so now it's our time of mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless the financial gifts that you give today. Every donation is greatly appreciated, no matter the amount. So thank you for your donation. And donations can be made in different ways. So you can either go to our website which is www.cslpv.org. And when you arrive on the landing page, there will be a donate button. When you click on it, it will take you to your PayPal, where you can make your donation in whichever manner you choose. Or alternatively, you can still mail in a paper check, and you can address that to CSLPV number 403, 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y8N1. And now, if you'd like to join me in our Offertory Affirmation. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So once again, thank you. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual wine treatment to assist you with your emotions or change or whatever you are experiencing in your life, please connect with me. And if you would like to commit to being a member of CSL Puerto Vallarta for this current year, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, please contact us and we will be sure to send you the current forms. I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And if you're interested in learning more about the Science of Mind teaching, we are now offering a course called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And this will be held online. So connect with me or check on our website to find out the details. And also, let's continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. So may peace and love be with you. Thank you for coming and sharing this time together. Peace and blessings to all. Namaste.